Hello class 8 students, how are you? Hope you all are good. Now students, today in this video I am going to continue the same chapter, that is your chapter number 1 in biology, the transportation of food and water minerals in plants. Now students, today I am going to explain you about what is transpiration, its importance and the factors affecting the transpiration, what is root pressure and the minerals required by the plants for their growth and development. Let's start the chapter. But before starting the chapter, students, still some of you are not sending your assignments at time, so it's my request to send your assignments regularly, right, and concentrate in your studies. Let's start the chapter transportation of food and water and minerals in plants. The plants absorb much more water through their root system than what is required for various life activities like growth and photosynthesis. So the question is, what happens to the rest of the water? Actually, this excess water which is absorbed by the roots is lost by the plants in vapors form to their surroundings by the process of transpiration. It is a process very different from simple evaporation. Actually, it is through the stomata that a plant takes in carbon dioxide and release oxygen during photosynthesis. And guard cells help opening and closing of stomata by regulating their own water content. Due to the production of glucose in the cell during photosynthesis, the guard cells, they draw in water from the surrounding cells by the process called osmosis. As a result, they bulge outward and open the stomata for the diffusion of gases. Meanwhile, the opening of the stoma, they allow water vapors to escape from the intercellular spaces. Now the question is, what is the definition of transpiration? Actually, transpiration can be defined as it is the loss of water as water vapor from the aerial parts of the plants. And transpiration always causes a transpiration pool which help in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Process of transpiration can be shown with the help of this activity. And what is the aim of this activity? To show that transpiration occurs through leaves. Now, and how you will perform this activity? You take a small sized well watered potted plant, cover the plant with bell jar. But before covering the plant with bell jar, first you cover the pot with a polythene bag, right, so that no evaporation can take place from the soil and the pot. Then you cover it with bell jar and leave the plant in the sunlight for few hours and then observe. Now after few hours, what do you observe? A tiny drops of water are seen inside the this bell jar. Now from where these tiny drops came? It means these are actually what? These are the water vapors which are transpired by the plant and condenses as water droplets. And it shows that water is lost in the form of water vapors from the aerial parts of the plant. Now next is your importance of transpiration. Transpiration helps plants in many ways. First is it helps plants get rid of unused water. Second, it creates a force of suction. And what this force of suction is called? Transpiration pull, which raises the water and minerals in upward direction, which is also known as ascent of sap. Means transpiration help in ascent of sap. Third is it concentrates the cytoplasm of plant cells. Fourth, it helps to distribute water and minerals in the plant body. And last is it also helps to cool the plant body. Actually, it produces a cooling effect which helps in preventing hot sunlight from damaging the delicate cells of the plant, right? Now next is factors affecting transpiration. Actually, there are some external factors which influence the rate of transpiration, and these are: first, light; second is your availability of the soil water; third is your moisture content or humidity; fourth is your temperature; and fifth is your atmospheric pressure; and sixth is your air. Now, first, sunlight. Actually, during daytime, transpiration is faster. Why? Because light affects transpiration by influencing the opening and closing of stomata. During the day, the stomatas are open and closed during the night time. More the intensity of light, more is the stomatal opening, and that is why more stomatal opening increases the water loss from the plant. Now, next is your temperature. Transpiration increases with the increase in temperature due to faster evaporation of water. Third is your wind. Transpiration is more when the wind is blowing faster. And humidity. Transpiration is decreases or reduced with the increase in humidity. What is humidity? It is a water vapors present in the air. If if air is more humid, then transpiration would be less. But if air is dry, then transpiration would be more. Right? Next is your root pressure. Root pressure is actually another factor that helps move water and minerals upward through the stem. Root pressure is more important at night or when the rate of transpiration is low. In some plants, water released with great force through the cut end of the stem when it is cut slightly above the ground, and this is caused by root pressure, and the phenomenon is known as bleeding. Now, next topic is your minerals in plants and their importance. Actually, nutrient elements are essential for the plants to grow well and complete their life cycle. Now, though a large number of elements are present in the plant body, only some are important for the healthy growth of plants, and these are called essential elements. In all, 16 elements are found to be essential, and depending upon the quantity of these elements required by the plants, the elements are divided into two categories. First is your macronutrients, which are required in larger concentration, and second is your micronutrients required in small amounts. Let's discuss the difference between macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients in relatively they are required in large amount, while micronutrients are required in very small amount. Second, macronutrients include carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, calcium and magnesium. While micronutrients, they include iron, manganese, copper, molybdenum, zinc, boron, chlorine and nickel. Macronutrients are non-toxic in slightly excessive quantity, while micronutrients, they show toxic effects even in slight excess. And fourth point is your macronutrients contributes in the development of osmotic potential in the cells, while micronutrients, they do not play any role in the development of osmotic potential in the cells. Let's see the importance of minerals in plants. Actually, the minerals, they are required for the proper growth and development of plants. Second, they help in the formation of plant body because these minerals are the constituent of protoplasm and cell wall. Minerals also help in maintenance of cell shape. They maintain turgidity and cell shape. And minerals also help in phloem transport, that is your boron and potassium in translocation of food from one part to other part. Let's discuss the role of some important minerals in plants and their deficiency symptoms. Now, first macronutrient is your nitrogen. It is a major constituent of all proteins, and the deficiency of nitrogen in plants causes yellowing or a reddening of leaf, right, and wrinkling of cereal grains. Second is your phosphorus. It is the constituent of cell membrane and certain proteins, and its deficiency causes purple and red spots on leaves and delay in seed germination. Third macronutrient is your potassium. Potassium plays a very important role in the opening and closing of stomata, and its deficiency causes poor growth with reduced rate of transpiration. Right? Due to deficiency of potassium, mature leaves develop yellow edges and curling of leaf tips. Right? Right? Now next is your micronutrients. First is your iron. It is a constituent of some proteins, and its deficiency causes yellowing of leaves. Due to deficiency of iron, Lyme induced chlorosis. Next is your manganese. It is a constituent of some enzymes, and its deficiency causes yellowing of leaves with gray spots. And third is your zinc. Zinc is a constituent of plant hormones and activates enzymes, and its deficiency causes D-shaped leaves, yellowing of leaves, and stunted growth. Right? Okay, thank you children. Now your chapter is completed, and in next video I'll start your new chapter, that is reproduction in plants.